What's up, everybody? Gambling Gringos back at it with another vid. We're going to be doing the best pitching rotations from 1 to 30. So the rotation I think is best is number 1 down to all the way in last 30th. Number 1, we've got the Diamondbacks. So they got 2 all-star caliber pitchers right at the top there. They just got Corbin Burns, and Merrill Kelly's always a solid starting pitcher. He's a little past his prime, and then I think you guys forget how good Erod was back in the day on the Tigers. Man, I think 1 through 5, they're just a solid pitcher each night. It's going to be tough to face for their rotation. Number 2, we're going to go with the Mariners. So, their top 3 guys, they're in their primes right now. This is the best they're going to get. And you know what? All 3 of them could very well be all-star caliber pitchers at times. Castillo strikes out a ton, dudes. And I think you guys should look into Wu. This dude, look at his advanced metrics. All of them are saying that he's going to be a beast. So watch out for that dude. Maybe a sleeper pick in fantasy if you guys want. Number 3, going with the Phillies. So Wheeler, Nola, beasts. 1 and 2, very solid 1 and 2. And then they got Ranger Suarez. That guy, if he can duplicate what he did last year, this guy is going to be a problem. And then you also got Jesus Suarez hopping in there. He was battling through injuries last year. He's a solid pitcher. He's going to do very well with this Phillies team. I just come back if I'm wrong, but he's going to do damn good. And after this, we're going to go number 4, the Yankees. So they've got that Max Fried dude. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's damn fantastic. He is fantastic. And then, they always got the Garrett Cole. And, I think this might be the first team that doesn't have like a superstar starter at number 3 or very, very good. Rodon, I think he can make a comeback this year, but last year, and it's just trending in the wrong direction. I think Stroman will get traded at some point. So, but yeah, number 4, Yankees. Number 5, we got the Red Sox. So they got Garrett Crochet this year. He's going to put up numbers. He's going to be nasty. I think the Walker Buehler addition, that's going to be very nice. He's got a whole off season to get better and heal from his injury. And they got Bello, they got Cutter still. Giolito is not the White Sox Giolito that we once had, but he's going to do pretty well. And Tanner Houck, man, that dude's sinker. Lots of double plays are going to be rolled behind him with that defense. So, Red Sox, number 5. And number 6, the Padres. So, Dylan Cease, nastiest stuff in the league, some of it. Going to get a lot of strikeouts. That ERA needs to get lowered a little bit, but he is nasty. Darvish still got some in the tank. Just got Nick Pivetta. He's going to be a great addition for them. And then I think Waldron, he's going to be great again this year. So give me the Padres at 6. Number 7, I got the Dodgers. So I know you Dodgers bandwagons and true fans are going to have a problem with this, but dude, 7 is a good ranking. Don't get me wrong. Like, this team is going to be tremendous. But I think their guys are a little more overhyped than you guys think. I think Blake Snell, he'll do his thing. Yamamoto is a good pitcher. I don't know. Sasaki, that new guy, you got to see it before you can judge anything. So I don't know what to say about him. And, they're back end guys that could get a little better. But I think this is a top 10 pitching rotation, and you guys can't be mad at number 7. Number 8, going with the Rays. So this team has been riddled with injuries in the past. And these guys are actually great pitchers. Like, it's going to be 1 through 5. It's going to be a tough matchup every game. Maybe not top of the tier list, but McClanahan, I don't know if you forgot, but before his injury, he was pitching at a Cy Young level. He's going to be a good pitcher. And, all the way down to 5, where Taj Bradley, maybe not the biggest name, not a household name, but he's a tough pitcher every time he goes out there on the mound. And number 9, I'm going Detroit. The Detroit Tigers are in the top 10. Tarek Skubal, he's getting Cy Young this year, man. I'd put my money on him. Tarek Skubal. Flaherty's back in the division. He's going to feast in the AL Central. And they had a nice addition with Webb. They got Olsen there. Very, very solid rotation. Number 9. Number 10, going with the Twins. Top 10 pitching roster right here. Pablo Lopez, good strikeout pitcher. Solid number 1 for any team. And then Bailey Ober, longer he's been in the league, the better he's gotten. So I don't think he's going to be declining at all anytime soon. So that's a good number 2 to have. Joe Ryan, great pitcher. Anybody would love to have Joe Ryan on their team. And then, Paddock's up and down. But, this is a very serviceable top 10 type of pitching rotation. So 10, we're going with the Twins. Number 11, going with the Giants. So they have a lot of the guys they had last year except for one, Justin Verlander. So let's see how he does, but I think he's got a little in the tank. He's going to prove it. And, 1 through 5, they're pretty solid up and down. Hicks throws some heat. And I don't know, this lineup with this pitching rotation, they could possibly have a good year. Number 12, we got the Astros. So 1, 2, 3 punch at the top of that rotation, pretty solid. Valdez is always great. Their 4-guy Arrighetti, he came on at the end of the year last year, and I think they're just going to continue to be a great team. They're going to fall off a little bit from how they were, like dynasty-wise, but Astros always a solid team. All right, number 13, the Pirates. So obviously they got Skeens. He's going to be the best pitcher in the league for 10 years straight. This guy is going to be a monster. So hopefully he can stay on the Pirates, but, they got Keller, who's always good, always a good pitcher. Jones, young, up-and-coming pitcher. And I think the head of that beast is just going to help him win a lot of games. Next at 14, we're going to go with the Blue Jays. And it's hard to put this team any higher than this because of the inconsistency in this rotation. Barrios always great. He's got good stuff. Gossman has good stuff. They got Scherzer, but the consistency isn't there. And that's what we need to see from this rotation for me to put them a little higher. And ending the top half at number 15, the Braves. So Chris Sale, if he stays healthy, he's always a top 10 pitcher in the league, damn near. All the way down to Swellenbach, who had a little bit of a rough year to start the year last year, but he's going to do pretty well, I would assume. Ronaldo Lopez kind of revitalized his career on the Braves. And I think last couple guys are just, it's going to be rough. But a good thing they got a good lineup, eh? At 16, the Cubs. Not the flashiest starting rotation in the league. Definitely not. And, Shada had a great start to the season last year, but I think they kind of started to figure him out a little bit. And then, just not the flashiest. I think they'll get the job done, but nothing spectacular. Italian's all right. And, Steele, pretty good. We'll see. 17, the Orioles. They've got Grayson Rodriguez. He did all right last year. He's an okay pitcher. And I think he got a little overhyped. Eflin hurt on and off. Didn't do the greatest last year. We'll have to see. And then, Kremer's all right. They're just got to rely on that offense, which they do pretty well. And number 18, the Reds. So Hunter Green, he's got some of the nastiest stuff in the league. Just the rest of these guys, you don't want to have Brady Singer as your number 2. You just don't. And it's just they got Lodolo, who I think Lodolo can have a great year. It just depends on his health, but just not a top half. Still a decent one, but not a top half rotation. Number 19, the Royals. So Ragans is a very above average pitcher. I'd say he is all-star quality. I think the other guys, though, they just massively overperformed last season. Lugo is not going to have the same year he had last year. And you don't want Lorenzen as your starter on any potential playoff team. I think it's just not a good look. But they're going to be carried by Ragans and maybe Waka. And number 20, the Brewers. So the Peralta, great number 1 to have. If they just had a little more depth, this would be a lot higher. But safe to say they're going to be scoring a lot of runs. I think this could be a lot better rotation if they spent a little more money. And they're going to struggle, in my opinion. 21, we got the Guardians. So kind of a young rotation. Bibby's pretty decent. And then I don't know if Shane Bieber's coming back mid-season or what. But maybe I'd put him a few spaces higher if he was in this rotation. Williams, all right. Ortiz, I'm kind of excited to see. But for the most part, this is an underwhelming rotation. All right, 22, we got the Rangers. So I think Kumar Rocker is going to take the place of DeGrom when he gets hurt inevitably this season. So kind of, I don't know about an upgrade, but I would say probably a lateral move right there. And then their bottom 3 is just brutal. I think it's very brutal. John Gray as your 3. I don't know any team that would want that. And, yeah, I think they could very much improve in the bottom half of that rotation. 23, the Mets. Let me know if I'm tripping, but the Mets rotation is nothing special. Manaya, number 1. Senga, he's all right. He has some good games. But, Peterson, he's nothing special. He's all right, but just they don't have anybody that's in a class of their own, per se. And I think Montes is out for the year, if I'm not mistaken. So 24, the Nationals. So Gore, he's going to be okay. I think he's got some potential to do well. Irvin as a 2, not tremendous. Soroka, he used to be a great pitcher. I don't know what happened to him. He can come back and be decent, I think. But I'm not going to put my money on it. And this rotation is just very underwhelming. They're going to win some games, but they're also going to lose a lot of games. So give me them. And next, number 25, the Cardinals. So they got Sonny Gray at 1. Pretty good number 1, I mean, for most teams. And then you got Fetty, who is, inconsistent. They got just some guys that are underwhelming at best. Michaelis has been awful. Last year, the year before that, he started to decline a little bit, but this is just not looking too good for the Cardinals rotation. Number 26, the Marlins. So the only good news maybe for the Marlins this season was that Alcantara is coming back for him. Just a awful offseason. Cabrera's pretty good. Their top 3 are very serviceable. Obviously, Alcantara is all-star level when he's pitching. We'll see. He's been injured, so we'll see. And then top 3 is okay, but, man, they're going to lose a lot of games this year. 27, the Athletics. So Severino should not be a number 1 on a playoff hopeful. So I just had to put them this low, man. The rest of their roster is not the greatest. Sears is, we'll see. I mean, he was rough at points last year. And, man, I guess they got Jeffrey Springs. We'll see about him. Other than that, I don't have a lot of faith. And number 28, the Angels. So Tyler Anderson is a decent pitcher. I wouldn't have him as a number 1, but he's a pretty decent pitcher. And they got a few more guys that are okay. Soriano, he's kind of wild. We'll see about him. He's pretty decent. Hendricks is way past his prime, throwing at 85 miles an hour. I don't know how that's going to happen. It's going to be rough. And I don't know. We'll see about this rotation, but their lineup isn't the worst, so they could win maybe 70. That's my guess. This team will probably win 70 games. 29, the Rockies. So they just didn't get any help. Last year, their rotation was not good. They didn't do anything to help it. The teams that they play are just going to love to face the Rockies. They're going to tee off, and it's not fun if you're a Rockies fan. They didn't improve at all. They didn't even try. So they're gonna stick right now at 29. Dead last, the White Sox. So, man, I guess they signed Martin Perez, but pretty much what they did was they got rid of anybody worth anything, like value-wise, and they're just going to roll out these guys and say, how bad can they do? Well, I guess we'll see. Dead last, number 30, the Chicago White Sox. And with that concludes 1 through 30, from the best pitching rotation to the worst pitching rotation. And let me know what else you guys want to see. I mean, I'm just kind of starting out. I made a couple videos last year, mid-season. So if I end up doing more of these, let me know what you guys want to watch. And Gambling Gringo is out.